Hello and welcome back to Aussie English with Amanda. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're a return watcher, welcome back. You're tuning in to another pronunciation lesson. Did you catch that? Tuning. Today's lesson is all about something called the yod sound. It's a very small sound that makes a really big difference in how words are pronounced in Australian English and British English actually. So we're going to have a look at what it is, when it appears, when it disappears, and how it blends with other sounds in natural speech. Don't forget to download your PDF cheat sheet. The link is in the description. Let's get started. What is the yod sound? The yod sound is the y sound, or this J-looking symbol in the phonetic alphabet. It's the same sound you'll hear in yes, yellow, and you. In phonetics, it's called the palatal approximant, but you don't need to know technical terms. Just remember this, it's that light y sound that often comes before a vowel, especially the oo sound in you or new. So in words like due, new, and tune, Australians often insert this y sound after certain consonant sounds. So new becomes new. Do, as in due date, becomes due, and tune, as in cartoon or music tune, becomes tune. Sometimes you might hear the yod sound referred to as yod coalescence, and this is just when sounds blend together. So as I just said, sometimes when the yod sound comes after certain consonants, especially t, d, s, or z, it doesn't stay a separate sound. It blends or coalesces with the consonant before it to form a new sound. This is also part of a connected speech concept called assimilation. I have a whole unit on connected speech and go into detail about assimilation in my online course, Mastering Australian English. If you are interested in learning more, the link is in the description as well. So let's look at some examples. T plus y can become ch, as in the ch sound in chip. D plus y can become j, the sound in jump. S and y can become sh, the sound in she, and z plus y blends together to create the j sound in measure. Let's look at some common examples in words. So this list is really common in Australian English. However, you'll also most likely hear them in a lot of British English accents as well. But of course, I focus on Aussie English, so I will refer to Aussie English. First one, tune can be pronounced as tune. Dune can be pronounced as June. Tuesday can be pronounced as Tuesday. Duty, duty, and I'm using a T flap there, so it can be duty or duty. If you don't know what a T flap is, I did a video lesson on this. I'll link it up top or whichever side it's on, depending on where the editing happens. Depending on which side it's on, I'll put the link up top so you can have a look at what the T flap is and how you can start to incorporate that if you want to. Student can become student. Stupid, stupid. Assume can become assume, and resume can become resume. So these changes often happen in fast natural speech. In more careful or formal pronunciation, you might actually hear this as a blend rather than a complete change. For example, I say Tuesday with the ch, but you might hear some people say Tuesday, you, blending it together, Tuesday. But a lot of Aussies do coalesce. I personally do it myself, but again, you will hear different people with different pronunciations. If you ever want to check, I highly recommend using the website youglish.com. It is YouTube for English learners. So you select the country you want to search within, for example, Australia, type the word, and then it's going to find YouTube videos with that word featured on channels within that country. So if you do want to have a look at Tuesday, for example, type in the word Tuesday, click Australia, and then have a listen through. See if you can hear Tuesday or Tuesday. And if you are curious, listen to UK channels and American. That way you kind of get a bit of an idea of how that word is pronounced all around. Now, not every y blends. So not every time will you see a consonant with that y sound? It's not going to blend together, like, for example, Tuesday, Tuesday. Sometimes we just keep that yod in there. There's no blending. This is common after consonants like b, k, and h. We usually keep that yod sound as a separate sound. For example, music, music, fuel, fuel, cute, cute, human, human, beauty, beauty. I said earlier in the video that sometimes the yod sound gets dropped. So let's have a look at that. When does the yod get dropped? In some accents, particularly in American English, the y is dropped after t, d, s, and z. This is called yod dropping. So if you were to Google yod dropping Australian English, you'll find some articles about how we don't yod drop in Australian English. Earlier when I was doing some examples, I was actually already doing the American pronunciation, so I'll go through that list once more. Now that you know what I was doing, you can understand it a bit better. So for example, so I'll say the Australian or British pronunciation first and then the American version so you can hear the difference. We have new, new, tune or tune, tune, duty or duty, duty, student or student, student, assume or assume, assume. So if you're someone who says new as in I bought a new car, or tune as in that's a really great tune instead of tune, that's more the American pronunciation. Whereas in Australia, we usually keep the yod sound or blend it together. So as I said before, some words have dual pronunciations. So that just means they have more than one correct pronunciation in Australian English. It really comes down to what you prefer. Oh my gosh, honestly, I've heard this on social media so many times. There are some Australians who will get on there and say that you're pronouncing things wrong. And you might hear that in person. It's not Tuesday, it's Tuesday. Language is forever changing. So just because they don't like that sound is changing doesn't mean that it's wrong. It just depends on how formal or how casual you want to pronounce it. So just as a couple of examples, Tuesday or Tuesday. June or June, as in the sand dunes on the beach. YouTube or YouTube. Tuna, as in tuna fish or tuna fish. So again, you will hear these different pronunciations. If you ever want to have a listen to see what people say, listen to people around you. People watch, not really watching, but listen to conversations around you. Ask your Australian colleagues what they say. Be curious. Use Youglish. Definitely just have a listen to how people speak around you, because you really will start to get a better understanding. And the more curious you are, the more you're going to learn. As I said, both are fine in Australian English, but the coalesced version, the blended version, like Tuesday or tuna, is more casual. And it's probably one that you will hear a lot more commonly used in everyday speech. This is something that also occurs across word boundaries. How many of you have heard people say, could you do this for me? Could you? They're not saying could you. Could you do this for me? Would you be able to come into work tomorrow? Don't you know the answer? Don't you? So this blending, this coalescing also happens at word boundaries. What I mean by word boundaries, when the first word ends in a certain sound, the next word starts with that yod u sound, it can blend. Let's look at some examples. Did you can become did you. Did you see that? Did you see that? Could you? Could you? Could you come in tomorrow? Could you come in tomorrow? Would you? Would you? Would you like a piece of chocolate? Would you like a piece of chocolate? Don't you? Don't you? Don't you know the answer? Haven't you? Haven't you seen that? Haven't you seen that? Got you? Got you. I got you a present. Let you. I'll let you go in front of me. Let you go in front. Get your. Get your. Get your hat before we leave the house. Get your hat. Get your hat before we leave the house. Miss you. Miss you. Oh, I miss you so much. Miss you. Miss you. These blends help make your speech faster and smoother. They're a key part of sounding natural. What happens if you have a past tense verb that ends in a t or d sound and the next word is that yod sound? Does it blend? Does it coalesce? Let's have a look. The answer is yes. When a regular verb ends in the ed spelling or the t or d sound and is followed by you, the final sound can actually blend with you as well. For example, liked you. Liked you. I really liked you. I really liked you. Missed you. Missed you. I missed you yesterday at the game. Missed you. Watched you. Watched you. Watched you. I watched you give your speech at the seminar. It was amazing. Watched you. Now, if the verb ends in d sound, it can coalesce into the j. For example, loved you. Loved you. I loved you from the moment I saw you. Loved you. Called you. Called you. I called you, but you didn't pick up. Called you. Followed you. Followed you. I followed you up the mountain. Followed you. Sometimes, depending on the person, depending on the speech, if the verb ends in the t pronunciation, like helped, sometimes that blend can sound like a ch or a j. For example, helped you, helped you, helped you. I helped you out, or I helped you out, helped you. It really depends on how much voice is being turned on here. Sometimes that t sound can get voiced in fast speech. So even though I've just said these are the rules, there's always an exception to the rule. You'll really just have to practice listening to see if you can hear the difference, but it's a general idea. So how can you learn this sound? Let's look at some practice tips. Listen and repeat. Use shows, podcasts, YouTube videos, YouTube clips to hear real examples. Pause and repeat phrases like, did you know? Or Tuesday morning. Tuesday, tune on YouTube. Use Youglish. Look at those keywords, search those keywords, listen and repeat. You can try shadowing. So kind of like listening and repeating, but with shadowing, you are focusing more on the kind of bigger picture of the speech. So you're looking at intonation, stress, pronunciation, the bigger picture. So choose a clip and try to mimic or copy the speaker as they're talking, focusing on all of the different aspects of speech. It is okay to exaggerate at first while you're getting used to making those sounds. Create your own list of minimal pairs with the Australian English and American English version. Your PDF cheat sheet, use that. For example, new, new, dune, dune, student, student. Do that to build awareness and to practice your pronunciation. Also, practice your word boundaries and use full sentences. So try, could you help me? Instead of just could you? Yes, practicing just those two words to begin with is great, but practice that in context. It's going to give you more awareness around that. Could you help me? I watched you leave, rather than watched you. Practice it in context. The y or yod sound might seem tiny, but it plays a huge role in how we speak. It also can really help distinguish what accent you are speaking, or can really show what accent you learned when you were learning English. I have an accent assessment service that I do. I can put that link in the description as well, where I analyze people's speech and give feedback based on what accent they want to work on achieving, whether it's general, broad, or cultivated. And one of the key ways I can tell if someone has had exposure to American English is usually the rolling of R, not necessarily rolling, but the pronunciation of R, whereas we don't pronounce that. I've done a video on this, it's linked up top if you want to watch that one. But also the yod dropping. So I can always tell there is a specific sentence where one of the sentences is, the phrase is, 2 students planted big fir trees all around the zoo. I know that if they are saying students, that they have had exposure to American English. So if you are wanting to have a more natural sounding speech in Australia, this sound is really important to learn. So whether it's blending the sounds into a ch or j, or just bringing them together like dieu or tieu, maybe it's popping up in you instead of nu, or again, if you have that exposure to American English or speaking to Americans, dropping that yod altogether. This sound is everywhere. By tuning in to these patterns and practicing them, you'll start to sound more smoother, more confident, and more natural. Whether you're saying tune instead of tune, Tuesday instead of Tuesday, or did you get that instead of did you get that? So as always, keep practicing. Practicing is the key here. Like I've said in all of my most recent pronunciation lessons, practice, 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 getting that exposure. Practice is how you're going to improve. So keep practicing. Download your PDF cheat sheet. If you have any questions, I'm just an email away or DM on Instagram. And I'll catch ya. Well, actually, catch ends in ch anyway. So I'm just using normal blending here. Catch you. I'll catch you next time on Aussie English with Amanda.